Welcome all of you. My topic is synthesis, characterization, and antimicrobial activity of novel chip base and its copper and nickel metal complexes. Myself is DT Sakhare, Assistant Professor and Research Guide, UGPG and Research Center, Department of Chemistry, Shivaji Arts, Commerce and Science College, Kannad, District, Aurangabad. Introduction. Chip bases are the compounds containing azomethane groups. They are condensation products of ketones or aldehydes with primary amines and were first reported by Hugo Chip in 1864. Nowadays, chip bases are used as intermediates for the synthesis of amino acids or as a ligand for preparation of metal complexes having a series of different structure. Chip bases with aryl substituent are more stable and really synthesized where those containing alkyl substituents are relatively unstable. Chip bases form a significant class of compounds in medical and pharmaceutical chemistry with several biological applications that include antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-tumor activity. A large number of chip bases and their complexes have been studied for their interesting and important properties. Examples, their ability to reversibly bind oxygen, catalytic activity in hydrogenation of olefins and transfer of amino groups, photochromic properties and complacing ability towards some toxic metals. 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine compounds are well-known class of compounds for a long time and still are interestingly considerable due to their application in various fields. Current literature reveals that the pyridine compounds possesses a variety of biological activities such as antidiabetics, anti-malarial, anti-inflammatory, anti-asthmatic, antibacterial, and tyrosine kinase inhibiting agent. In the present work, we reported synthesis, characterization, antibacterial, and antifungal study of seed-based derived from 2-amino-4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine and 2,4-dihydroxybenzaldehyde and its copper and nickel complexes. Materials and method. The reagent used in the work are of analytical grade and were used as purchased without purification. Glassware were washed and dried in an oven at 110 degrees Celsius overnight before use. Physical measurement IR spectra were recorded on FTIR, ATR, Bruker Tensor 37 spectrophotometer using KBR palette in the range of 4000 to 400 per cm. H1 NMR varying mercury 300 MHz spectra of ligand were measured in DMSO using TMS as internal standard. XRD was recorded on Bruker D8 Advance. TGA DTA was recorded on Siemens. The carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen content were determined on elemental model Vario Third, the UV spectra of the complexes were recorded on model UV 1800 Siemens spectrometer. Molar conduction of the complexes was measured on Helicosium 180 conductivity emitter using 10 to minus 4 molar solution in DMSO. Magnetic susceptibility measurement of the metal chilates were done on a GUI balance at room temperature using Hg cobalt tetracyanide as tetrathiocyanide as a calibrant bacterial and antibacterial fungal isolated were obtained from Department of Microbiology NSB College Nanded for providing antibacterial and antifungal activities. Reagent as solver 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine Aldrich sigma and 2,4-dihydroxybenzaldehyde ER grade were used for synthesis of ligand. ER grade metal nitrates were used for the complex preparation. Synthesis of ligand. The ligand was prepared by the modification of the reported method. The cheap base ligand has been synthesized by replacing a mixture of 0.01 molar of 2,4-dihydroxybenzaldehyde and 0.0 molar of 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine in 50 ml super dry ethanol replaced for about 4 hours. Chief base thus formed was cooled to room temperature and collectively by filtration, followed by recrystallization in ethanol and dried in vacuum Vaco or anhydrous calcium chloride, the yield of percentage is 20%. Synthesis of metal complexes. To a hot ethanol solution, 25 ml of the ligand, 2 molar, 2 molar and 25 ml of metal nitrate 1 molar was added with constant stirring. The pH of reaction mixture was adjusted to 7 to 8 by adding 10% alcoholic ammonia solution and replaced for about 3 hours. The precipitated solid metal complexes was filtered off in hot condition and washed with hot ethanol and dried over calcium chloride in vacuum desiccator. The yield of product is 60%. Result and discussion. Chief basis of 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine complexes have a variety of applications including biological, clinical, and analytical. These coordinating possibility of 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine has been improved by use condensing with a variety of carbonyl compounds and attempt has been made to synthesize the chief basis from 2-amino 4,6-dihydroxypyrimidine with 2,4-dihydroxybenzyl physical characteristics, microanalytical and molar conduction data of ligand and metal complexes are given in table number 1 and 2. The analytical data of complexes reveals 2 raised to 1 molar ratio ligand raised to metal and correspond well with the general formula Ml H2O taken to where M is the copper and nickel. The magnetic susceptibilities of copper and nickel complexes at room temperature are consist with high spin octahedral structure with two water molecules coordinated to metal ion. The presence of two coordinated water molecules was confirmed by TGA-DTA analysis. The metal chelates solution in DMSO shows low conductance and support their non-electrolyte nature. It is indicated in table 1. Now, physical characterization, analytical and molecular conduction data of these. Now, this is the compounds of formula. It is the ligand. It is the copper metal complexes. It is the nickel metal complexes. That is the molecular weight. It is the melting point, and it is the color of these ligand and metal complexes. Now, the molar conductance. That is the copper metal complex is 19.25 and nickel metal complex is 20.27. Table 2, that is the elemental analysis of copper and nickel molecule. That is the compounds, it is the ligand, it is the copper complexes, it is the nickel complexes. Now it is the found and it is calculated. That is the carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen. That is the values are which is the found and these values are the calculated. These values are found and it is calculated. It is found and it is calculated and therefore that is the metal. These values are found and it is calculated. Now H1 NMR spectra of ligand. The H1 NMR spectra of free ligand at room temperature shows the following signals: 5.9 delta S to H phenolic OH hydrogen of pyrimidine ring, 6.66 delta in bracket S1H hydrogen bonded to pyrimidine ring, 7.94 delta in bracket S1H hydrogen bonded to the azomethane carbon, 6 7.69 to 7.28 delta, that is the delta for H aromatic HAHB proton of phenyl ring. IR spectra. The IR spectra of free ligand shows characteristics bands at 3331, 1641, 1487, 1204, and 1091 per cm. Assignable to hydroxyl group intramolecular hydrogen bonded, that is the carbon nitrogen bonding, that is the azomethane group, carbon carbon, that is the aromatic group, carbon nitrogen, that is the aryl azomethane, and carbon oxygen, that is the enolic stretching models respectively. The absence of weak bond in the range, that is the 3200 to 3400 per cm region in the spectra of the metal complexes suggests deprotonation of the intermolecular hydrogen bonded hydroxyl group of complexation and subsequent coordination of phenolic oxygen to the metal ion. This is further supported by downward shift in carbon oxygen, that is the phenolic with respect to free ligand. On the complexation, the azomethane group is bond is shifted to lower wave number with the respect to free ligand, denoting that the nitrogen of azomethane group is coordinated to the metal ion. The carbon nitrile band, that is the aryl azomethane band, is shifted to lower wave number with the respect to free ligand. The IR spectra of metal chelate showed new band in between the 500 to 600 and 400 to 500 per cm region, which can be assigned to metal oxygen and metal nitrogen vibrations respectively. The IR spectra of copper and nickel showed strong band in the region, that is 3050 to 3060 per cm region, suggesting the presence of coordinated water in these metal complexes. Antifungal and antibacterial activity. Antifungal activity and antibacterial activity of ligand and metal complexes were tested in vitro against fungal such as Aspergillus niger, Penicillium corosgenium, Fusarium, Monilium, Aspirin flavus, and bacteria such as E. coli, B. suspendens, Staphylococcus aureus, and Bilious suspendens by paper disc plate method. The compounds were tested at the concentration 1% and 2% in DMSO and compared with known antibiotics which Grispoflavin and penicillin in table 4 and 5. From table 4 and 5, it is clear that the inhibition by metal chelates is higher than that of a ligand and results are in good arrangement with the previous finding with the respect to comparative activity of free ligand and its complexes. Such enhances activity of metal chelase is due to the increased lipolenic nature of metal ions in complexes. Now this table is the that is the antifungal activity. It is the compound that is the ligand. It is the copper complex. It is a nickel complex. It is the standard control by using gracefully. That is the aspirin. It gives 1%, 2% solution. It gives the negatives and Rg negatives and it gives the that is the positive. Penicillin saccharose. It is also positive and negative and uracil monoxide it is also 1% and 2%. Asperic flavus it is also 1% and 2%. Now positive it indicates that antifungal activity is absent. Negative indicates that antifungal activity is present, and Rg it indicates that reduced growth more than 50% reduction in growth observed. Now it is the table that is the antibacterial activity of ligand and their metal complexes. It is the test compound, it is the ligand, it is the copper complex, it is the nickel complex, that is the standard solvent, that is the DMSO, and it is the penicillin, which is the standard antibacterial activity measured solvent drug is used. Now the antibacterial growth diameter or inhibition zone in is Yemen, that is the E. coli. E. coli it is observed as 1% and 2%. That is the it is the negative. It is the 10 mm, 12 mm negative, 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 and it is the penicillium that is a standard drug. It is 2%. It is also measured as standing PFAG, that is the 1% and 2%. Sacrifice services, it is also measured 1% and 2%. Bacillus substrate, it is measured 1% and 2%. Now metal and ligand negative, no antibacterial activity, and zone of inhibition in MM that indicate that is the antibacterial growth or antibacterial activity of that ligand and metal complexes. Now conclusion, the in the light of above discussion, we have proposed an octagonal geometry of copper and nickel complexes on the basis of the physiochemical and spectral data discussed above. One can assume that the ligand behave as diabasic, that is the nitrogen oxygen biadient coordinating via phenolic oxygen and immunonitrogen is illustrated. The complexes are biologically active and show enhances the antimicrobial activity compared to free ligand. Thermal study reveals thermal stability of complexes. The X-ray study suggests monoclinic structure or monoclinic crystal structure for copper and nickel complexes. Thank you very much.